For years, I have felt behind before my day even starts. And the world loves to tell you about this like 4 a.m. wake up call that's going to change your life. You're going to wake up, you're going to run a mile, you're going to go touch some grass, you're going to do a cold plunge, you're going to have read all of the books forwards and backwards. It's like moral superiority before the day even starts. I have felt guilty for a really long time that I cannot bring myself to do that. It felt like I was being lazy or unproductive, or like I didn't care enough about, our goals or the dreams or the work. And that weighed really heavily on me, on how I felt about myself, on how I felt like I was showing what business and life looks like to my kids. I'm not typically making breakfast or coffee until like 8:30, 8:45 in the morning. Our school day starts at 9 o'clock most days, but 9:30, 10 o'clock on days that feel a little slow. I'm usually getting ready for my day, as most people who work like a 9 to 5 are trying to really on-ramp their productivity. I kept telling myself I could be more disciplined. If I was more disciplined, then I would be getting up earlier in the day. I've always known that I'm sort of a night owl. I did the ancestry DNA thing, and it even told me, like, according to your DNA, you're probably a night owl and you don't do well in the morning. So like, it's literally genetically transcribed into my body that nighttime is typically whenever I'm going to stay up and probably do my best work. I listened to a podcast the other day, Diary of a CEO, had Dr. Bruce on, and he explained those chronotypes, like the genetic sleep code. Some brains are sharp really early and some are sharper later, but society is built for the early people, so it looks a lot better if you are an early bird than if you are a night owl. Listening to that podcast took a lot of weight off of my shoulders. I'm not broken. I have a specific set of routines and biological needs that have to be met in order for me to be able to be as productive as I can possibly be in a day. So I've decided that I'm not going to continue to force my square sleep cycle into the round hole of society. I'm not going to comply with any of the trends. I'm not going to try and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because it just makes me angry, and nobody needs me angry throughout the day. I'm reframing this idea that discipline is actually designing a life around when my brain actually works, rather than trying to force myself into something that just, honestly, it's not going to work. It's going to create dissonance every time I try. The morning has to be relational. It has to be my on-ramp for the day. I can give myself time frames, and I know I can be ready by those times. I need to be awake by 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I need to have my coffee drank and my body ready for the day by 9:30 in the morning. And I'm doing work or homeschool by 9:30 in the morning, but not like deep work, not like let's use, optimum brain power over here. It's the easy, it's the quick wins first thing in the morning. Afternoons are far more strategic. I've got filming for things, I've got phone calls, decision making. Things have to happen for me in the afternoon, because at that point my brain is online. I'm ready to go. I'm thinking, I'm pushing through. I'm not even pushing through. It's effortless at that point for me to sit down and think, this is the goal, this is the plan, these are the next steps. Nothing has really changed. It's just allowing my body to be exactly what it was designed to be. And that's the difference between pressure and having peace around how it is that I just naturally work. That's the other beautiful thing about working from home, is that why have I fought this? Why have I given myself this such a hard time, feeling like I need to, repent, rinse, and repeat every single time I don't wake up at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning? Why do I have 17 alarms that start at 6 o'clock in the morning when we all know that I'm not getting up until 7:30? 3 things I'm trying to do that I think could be helpful to somebody else in order to reframe this and get out of the struggle bus of feeling guilty for not being the 4 a.m. early bird. Got to track my energy. If I can spend a day writing down, this is how I feel, this is how clear my brain is right now, this is how decisive or creative I am, ignoring what I think I should feel in that moment and really leaning into, right now I feel like making a video. Right now I have loads of ideas that are coming to mind, and I wish I had a pad and paper or the brain space to be able to sit down and write it all down. Doing that several days in a row just to try and understand, like, naturally my body is syncing with this kind of cycle. The second thing would be to protect the peak window. So once I've decided what that is, that optimal time of day has to be protected. And if you're in the real estate industry or really any sort of sales industry, they always talk about building a bunker around yourself and protecting that window of productivity. Most of the time they're talking about that early morning, time block of doing your lead gen. You can do the same thing at a different time of the day, and you still have to lock yourself in. Give yourself the snacks. Build, a space that has the pens, the paper, all of the necessities that you might need to get the tasks done, but then protect the window of time that you choose to make those things happen. And then number 3, you gotta stop moralizing your schedule. I feel like we have a tendency to moralize everything. And if we can just take a step back and realize that my schedule does not define whether or not I deserve to be whatever, as long as I'm getting the things done that need to be done, then I should be okay with it. Now, on the other hand, if I wasn't waking up early and then I wasn't doing anything in the afternoon and then I was staying up late at night scrolling and not getting any work done, then that's a totally different story. But just because I don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning doesn't mean that I'm lazy. I can do the same thing that somebody does from 4 to 7 at 2 to 5. And I'm going to do it better from 2 to 5 than I ever would from 4 to 7. Ugh, like, way better. If my tasks can match my biological alertness window, then performance is going to improve. This goes the same for homeschool. I think about my kids. The beauty of homeschool is that we have the ability to adjust based off of what they need. School is still a requirement. They still have to do it every day. The way and the method in which we do it can adjust based off of their biological and emotional needs. And that to me is truly building a life by design. I'm not leaning into hustle culture. I am leaning into optimizing the way that I think and perform in such a way that I can meet my goals without overstretching myself. I can very easily become sleep deprived if I think like I'm behind, if I tell myself I'm behind, if I spend my entire day trying to catch up to some elusive, thing that isn't really very well defined, but only exists because I feel guilty that I didn't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to continue to feel like I'm in this sort of like deeply sleep deprived and behind state. I can work from ahead and do it at 11 o'clock in the morning instead of at 7 o'clock. Before you adapt to somebody else's daytime, morning, whatever routine, ask yourself, when does my brain actually turn on? When does my body tell me that I'm actually ready for the day and can tackle all of the challenges that I've set out for myself? And then build it from there. You don't need a louder alarm. You don't need 10 more alarms to try and wake you up in the morning. You got to work with your body.